to North Reading because he came to help the people in North Reading when there were only a few people that lived here. And it was a very, very small town. And the people didn't have much money. They were poor farmers, and they lived here all alone in a kind of a woodsy place. There were wild animals. They had little farms, and they worked so hard from early in the morning until late at night. And it was a hard, hard life. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about, is that hard life that those poor people lived. So they said, you know, it's very difficult for us to get to the center of town. The center of town wasn't here like it is now. It was far away in what is now Wakefield. Do you know where Wakefield is?
Yes.
Most people do, down by the big lake, right? Well, that was the center of town. And in the middle of the winter, the people couldn't get there. It was really hard because the river would flood, and it was snowy and cold, and it was a big long trip for them to go down there and then to come all the way back. So to get to town meeting, it was a hard, hard trip. So they kept saying, please, please, let us become a separate town. They said, no, you can't become a separate town. You can't support yourselves. You don't have enough money. You just don't have enough people that can do that. So you can't do it. And besides, you have to have a church. In those days, every town had to have a church and a minister to run the church, because everybody went to the same church. Not like today. Today we can go to our own church, we can go to a synagogue, we can go to a mosque, or we can stay home and not go anywhere because we have freedom. But in those days we didn't. We had to go where we were told. So the people said, well, we can't afford it. So they said, well, then you can't become a separate town. You can't, because you can't build a church and you can't get a minister and you can't pay him. Well, finally they got together and they said, we have enough money to build a church. And guess what? I have a surprise. We have a little part of that very first church right here in the Putnam House grounds, and it is being rebuilt, so people will be able to see it in 3 years. It'll be down here on the Putnam House grounds, and maybe when you come back in the springtime, you'll be able to walk inside it and see it. The thing that the people really built. And guess what? They got a minister, a man to come, very smart man. He went to Harvard University, but it was just a little school then at that time. He went there and he graduated, and he came here to be the minister, and he stayed here until he died. And he was an old man when he died, but he stayed here and he loved the people here in the North Parish, and they became the second parish of Reading. So they were becoming a town all by themselves. It was wonderful, and the people loved him, and he was a very smart man. So he learned things about medicine. He learned how to help them if the children were sick. He knew how to make cough syrup. He learned all kinds of things so he could help the people when they were not feeling well. He could help them when they were sad. He could marry people. He could have funerals if people were old people had died and they were very sad about that. He could have funerals for them. He did all kinds of things to help people. So they were very, very happy with Reverend Daniel Putnam. And that's why they built this house for him to come and live in North Reading. And that's why we're here, because we have the house, we saved the house, and now we have a little part of that first church which was called a meeting house, because it was also used kind of like a town hall. So people could meet there, and that's why it's called a meeting house. And that building that you just walked by on the common, sometimes people call it the building on the common. That's really the wrong name for it, because the right name for it is the third meeting house. So if anybody calls it the building on the common, you tell them, no, that's the third meeting house, because it's the third meeting house that was built on that common. There were two others beforehand, and the first one is the one you're going to see down there on the property. The second one was moved away and became a barn of all things. And the third one is that one right there that's still there. So, 1 minute and I'll answer. Okay, so that's the story of Daniel Putnam, and we are so lucky to know him. Now, when you come back, you are going to hear, next spring, you're going to hear all about textiles. And I think you know about textiles. Do you know what that means? No, not everybody knows. Textiles are things that are clothing and curtains. They're things about cloth. And so we're going to talk, next time you come, we're going to talk a little bit about what people had to do to make clothing, and how they saved everything that they made, and how they recycled everything that they made. So not just clothing, but things for the house. And so we're going to talk about sheep that provided clothing with their wool, and we're going to talk about plants like flax that provided clothing with their linen. Flax was a beautiful, strong plant, and it provided linen, which provided clothing, and also cotton, which sometimes came from other parts of the country, and that provided clothing too. So we're going to talk about all of those things when you come back. So we've got a lot to learn this year. This is an important year for you. You're going to learn a lot about your country. So I'm going to give your teachers, every one of the teachers, this book, and they're going to copy it out. And when you come back, you're going to be able to tell me all about these things. This tells a lot about what people used in North Reading. All of these things happened here on the farm, not just on this farm, because Daniel Putnam had a farm, and his wife and his children and everyone had to use all of the things that are shown here to keep the farm going and to keep the family going. So these are the things that they had. They had cows and sheep and pigs and chickens and geese, all of those things, and you know that, and they're all named here. And then it names all of the plants, and you're going to see some of these things in the kitchen when I show you about the cooking and the things that I'm doing here. And it goes on to tell you about the vegetables and the fruit and how all of those, because people couldn't go to a store. You know, there were just no supermarkets and there were no grocery stores. Everything had to be grown all by yourself. And all of the plants and the herbs, and you're going to get to see the garden that we have. And Mrs. Stein, who's here today taking some photographs, is the lady that takes care of our garden, and she'll tell you all about the wonderful things that she grows in the garden, not just to eat and not just to flavor the food, but also medicine, which Daniel Putnam also grew for things to make you feel better. And also things in the fireplace that we cooked, all of those things, and tools. So this is going to tell you all about this, and this is going to guide you. So your teachers are going to help, and we have all of these things in the house. So you'll get to see that. Now we're going to go into the next room. 1 minute. We have one big question here.
Back then, did they have slaves?
Did they have what?
Slaves.
They did. There were slaves, but not here so much. Occasionally, there was a few slaves that were in the north, but not too many right in this area. A very important question, though, because later on, when there was a movement to free slaves in the South, much later, we're pretty sure that people were hiding runaway slaves in this house. That there was a place upstairs between the chimneys where the Putnams, not Daniel Putnam because this was much later, the Putnam family were keeping the slaves safe so that they could get away to freedom. And that was a wonderful thing. Okay, let's go to the next one. See this beautiful blue dress?
Yes.
Well, that, believe it or not, is a wedding gown. Can you imagine getting married in a blue dress like that? But people did get married in bright colored dresses. Yes. And it wasn't until a queen in England called Queen Victoria got married in a big white gown. And everybody said, oh, that's wonderful. And then they decided, wow, that's a wonderful thing. And everybody started getting married in white dresses. And that became the style forever and ever. People got married in white dresses. But that was the wedding gown of the second minister in North Reading. His niece got married in that gown. And it was given to us to show everybody. And it's quite a beautiful dress. Yes?
There's also Victorian houses, and I've seen a couple of them.
The what? I didn't get that.
Victorian houses.
Victoria what?
Victorian houses.
Victorian houses are named because that style of building houses was during the period that she was queen. She was queen for a very, very long time, but Queen Elizabeth now is longer than she was. Yes. So, the only other thing I want to do is tell you how beautiful this room is. Isn't it lovely? And can you imagine what it was like for people to come and visit Daniel Putnam, either when they were very, very happy and they just wanted to express how much they enjoyed being his parishioners, how much they enjoyed having him be here as their minister, and sometimes how much they needed his help because they were so sad. But beyond that, I want you to feel, can you just close your eyes and think about what it was like to be a child in the 1700s and coming home maybe from school in the afternoon, and all your chores are done, and you're sitting in the house, and what do you hear? Now, don't think about the people talking in the kitchen, but think about what you might hear if you're sitting in the house. I don't hear anything. Do you? I don't hear anything turning on like the refrigerator. Do I? I don't hear a computer. I don't hear a TV. Do you hear anything? What is it?
There's no electricity.
There was no electricity, absolutely not. So, what would you be doing? What would you be doing? You with the red hair.
You would be going to get you pizza yourself.
You would be what?
Going to get you pizza yourself.
No, I don't think. Nobody would know what that was. Nobody would know what that was. So, what?
You'd be playing games probably.
You would probably be playing games, but you might be reading.
Oh, I know.
You might be reading, yes.
If you were a girl,
Yeah.
you could sew.
Yeah, you could sew. That's true. And what?
You could be playing an instrument.
You could be playing an instrument. That's very true.
You could be bored.
You could be bored, yes. But let's hope you weren't. Let's hope you might be maybe doing some kind of a game or doing a crossword puzzle. Yes, miss, with the pink.
You can be doing gymnastics.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe.
Not back then. Yeah.
That would have to be outside. In the winter, it would be bad. So let's go to the kitchen. What do you have in your kitchen that I don't have in my kitchen?
Fridge.
A fridge. Well, as a matter of fact, I do have some things that make up for what you have. I have a well in my house, and that well has a basket in it, and I can put my things like eggs, and I don't have some butter on the table today, but butter and some milk, and things like that, and I can put it in the basket and lower it down in the well, and once it's below ground, it's just like a refrigerator. In the wintertime, obviously, I can put everything outside in my shed, and things will freeze if it's cold enough, and it will be just like a fridge. So, things keep cold pretty good. Yes, miss.
They actually did have refrigerators back then. They had like big boxes with a big ice block on the
Those
top.
were ice boxes, yes. But they needed a big chunk of ice, which would be cut in the wintertime on the ponds. And so as you needed it, it would go into the box, and that would keep the box cold. Yes.
We have a sink.
A sink. Actually, I do have a sink in my shed, and it's a big wooden sink, and it has a little outlet that's cut in the wall, and so when I get the water out of the well, then I can wash in the wooden sink and then unplug that hole in the wall, and all the water rushes out onto the ground outside. So I do have a sink, yes.
You don't have an oven?
My goodness! There's my oven! Do you see it? I'm not going to get up because I'll get burned in the fireplace. I don't want to do that. But you see where the pot is in the wall in that hole? That is my oven. And Mr. Parker will gladly show you with his little light. There's a bean pot in there, and that's where we bake. And so, we can bake in that oven. We can bake beans in that pot now. These are beans, okay? Has everybody eaten baked beans?
Yeah.
Oh, I love baked beans. Beans in chili, beans in everything. These are beans. Here we go. See these beans?
No.
Okay. This is before the beans are baked. There, see, they're all white. Okay, that's before we put them in molasses. Now, this is molasses here. Molasses is brown, gooey stuff. Nice and sweet and delicious. There's molasses.
Molasses swamp.
Okay.
It's actually kind
You
of
see the molasses? Does everybody want to see molasses?
Yeah.
Do you all know what it is?
No, I don't have to taste it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do we want to pass it around? You can pass it around and look at it. So, do not spill it because we'll never get. Don't lift that fork out of the cup because we'll never get through it. Okay, so that's molasses. And we often use molasses in other things like cookies and breads. It's a nice sweetener. And what would be another sweetener that we could use that's natural, that we could put into food? It is a natural thing. What?
Sugar?
Sugar, but another natural one that we would find right around here on the farm. What?
Seeds to grow wheat.
No, this is a nice natural thing that is kind of like that. What?
Maple.
Maple sugar, but maple syrup. Yes, absolutely. Anybody else know? It's something that, well, honey. Honey. Yes, honey is great to you.
Oh, Mom, do you want to
So this goes into the bean pot with the molasses and salt pork and good things and bakes all night in that oven, along with bread, a loaf of bread.
Yummy.
Loaf of bread would bake in that oven, and a pie. Here we go, a deep dish apple pie. We'll put some apples in there and bake it in that pie. Also, we could make a cake. We can make, now you guys, you grow corn. Here's cornbread.
I love cornbread.
How about cornbread?
I want some.
Cornbread, that's great. That's only a small little cornbread. And when you are busy with your corn, and I think you grind up your corn and make cornmeal, what have I got here? Cornmeal. Here's cornmeal to make the cornbread. Okay, so also, besides that, I have whole wheat flour. Whole wheat flour right here. The best of the best. So all of that for baking in that beautiful oven. And you can bake it all day long. So I would have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and get the fire going in the oven to get the bricks red hot to bake all that good stuff. Now, here's the other thing. When I've got the fire going, I want to make a stew. And if I'm going to make a stew, what do I put in it in the middle of the winter that I have saved all fall because my garden has all gone dead? What do I put in it? And you are looking at vegetables on the table. Tell me, boys over there in the corner, gentlemen, what kind of vegetables are these?
Wait, what?
What kind of vegetables are those?
How about these here?
Potatoes.
Connor?
Onions.
Potatoes?
Onions. Radish.
No, not radish.
Starts with a T.
What is it? It's like
Who said turnip?
Turnips.
You did, you're right. Turnip. And what are those with the leaves?
Isn't it like I know.
What do you know?
Jump. Yeah, but it's
These,
I
that's
forgot
about
the name.
these things here.
Can you tell me the name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Please tell me, Mom. I know what it is.
No.
Oh, wait.
Rhymes with meat.
Oh, beef.
peas.
Absolutely. Okay, here's something else that's really, really good.
Yes, he did.
Watch this.
What is that?
Oh, I know.
What is that thing that lasts all winter long?
Oh my God.
That big long thing there that's kind of, yeah. Hold it up.
I know.
What is that? What is it?
Squash?
It's a squash, but what kind of a squash?
Is it like a sweet squash?
Anybody know?
Oh,
CJ?
winter squash?
Winter? It is a winter squash. Call it a winter squash, but there's another name for it. Andriana?
Butternut
Yes,
squash?
you're
Very
right. Right. And here are some very interesting things.
Isn't that like a white carrot?
What do you think? Nope.
Carrots.
Nope.
No.
It's a root vegetable, like a carrot. Grows in the ground. It's the root of a plant. Andriana?
Parsnips?
Parsnip.
Parsnips.
Oh yeah.
Parsnips. And,
Ooh. Zucchini?
nope.
You guys should know what this is. You picked them.
Ah,
Squash.
it is squash.
Okay, don't know
What
that.
kind? What kind of squash?
Oh, I know.
What?
Pumpkin squash.
What kind?
Pumpkin squash. Wait.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
No. What kind?
Summer?
Summer squash. Summer squash. And one of the best recipes I have that got handed down from the Pilgrims, get this, is chicken broth, summer squash, carrots or parsnips, and a little herbs. And you can do so much. And these are all things that grew in the garden from whenever. Oh my gosh. So we use herbs, so you can pick what kind you want, and you put them in it and put it in an iron pot and put it in the
Guys,
fireplace.
Pay attention.
And cook it in there, and it's delicious. Then we call it squash soup, and the Pilgrims ate it. And I got the recipe from them, and I used that in the fireplace. So here are some of the herbs from our garden.
Mom, what does that make?
Here's something. I wonder if anybody knows what that is.
The thing that she mixed with.
Connor?
Do you know?
Pine.
It looks like pine,
What is it?
and it smells really nice, but it's not pine.
Basil. No.
No, but basil would be excellent in that soup. Oh, that would be so good, but it's not.
Oh yes.
It's.
I know.
What?
Rosemary.
Yes! I was going to say it's like somebody's name. Okay, here's another thing, and this is really good in Thanksgiving turkey stuffing.
I know.
What?
I know.
What?
Me?
Yeah.
Basil.
No.
Please.
What?
Mint.
No. What?
Sage.
Sage!
You
know your
plant.
Oh, very good. Okay. And this one?
Any plant.
This one. Who said what?
I saw.
Somebody said I smell.
I did.
Huh?
I did mint.
You're right.
Aww,
You got an A over here.
my mom's definitely good at plants.
Some.
She knows every single one that we.
No.
Yes,
And
pretty much every single one.
Here's
said,
the
so.
all favorite herb that goes with everything.
Oh, I already said this. You already said this.
Yeah.
What?
Oh. I don't know. It's that. It's the name.
It's what?
It's
What? Okay, what?
Spinach.
No, it's not. Herb. It's a herb.
Please.
Oh, wait a minute, you answered too. What?
Basil.
No.
Oh, parsley.
You're right.
And parsley.
Okay, parsley.
Mommy knows something.
I don't know if we got anything else.
Now, if you only had some time, you'd have
I
a song
know.
title by
And
Simon
I'm
and Garfunkel.
afraid we're almost time to go. So, and into our soups and into our stuffings.
Do a selfie.
Free, out in the woods when we get. Yep.
I got it.
There's sting. Okay. So, and of course we would use carrots. So, the bottom line for all of that stuff is, why is it important to use all of those vegetables? Because they grow where? Where do they grow? Where they grow. Tell me. They grow. Everybody say it. Underground. They grow underground. And so, for the winter, we can keep all of those vegetables fresh by keeping them underground. And so, we all have an underground cellar. We have a place that we've dug out, we put sand in it, and we keep all of those wonderful vegetables in the sand underground, usually under our barn or under our house. And we have a big place where we've put in all of the sand and we put all of our root vegetables. And we have fresh vegetables for the whole winter so that we can make stews and meals where we have some vegetables and we can live for the rest of the winter when it's really hot, and we wouldn't have anything to eat if we didn't have that, because otherwise we would be living on oatmeal for the whole winter. And some families did have to live pretty much on grains for a good part of the winter, and it was a pretty boring winter time for them, and they didn't get good nutrition. So this is a good way for them to survive through the winter. Now, when you come back, you're going to find what all the preparations are for the summertime and the spring and the planting, because you're going to get to see the farm museum, which is a wonderful new thing. And that's going to be just absolutely great. It's exciting. Yes, do you have a question?
How did you guys contact, call each other or anything? Did you guys
You wrote letters. That's the communications. That was the only way. You have to write letters. Even when I was a small child, we could use the telephone, but sometimes you couldn't even call one-on-one because people would have 2 or 3 people on one line, and you had to, if you wanted to call your aunt, you would be afraid that there would be 2 or 3 other families sharing the telephone line. So you might have to wait a half an hour before the line was free to call. That's how bad the communications were. So, times have changed. And I think you have to move on now because the schoolhouse is waiting for you.
Let's ask one question here.
Yes.
Why do you see the corn up off the floor? Why do you see various herbs off the floor? Why don't they just leave them on a table, you know?
Well, if we left it down, because we would have, overnight, we would have mice having a wonderful time. We would have nice, jolly, chubby mice having a wonderful time, chewing away at the corn, and we're trying to dry the corn so that it can be ground up.
And there's no way, even with a cat, The
That's
mice
right.
can come in through your foundation walls, which were not
yes.
concrete but stone. And they would have made, if you left stuff out,
That's right.
you're feeding the mice, not your family.
That's
That's
right.
why
And-
you find in these homes things hung
Right.
when they want to dry them out.
And that's the herbs as well. We're drying the herbs so that we'll have them for the winter.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I know the plan.
Pointer was used for much more than pointing in these days. These days, we can't do that. We'd like to sometimes, but we can't do that. All right? So you need to be quiet, listen to directions, and you discovered something that the other class didn't discover. And so since you discovered this, these desks were given to us from all over the country. And there's only two that have an inscription. One is yours, and one is inside. I really like this desk. Look at this desk. Can you see it from where you're at? There you go. Don't get up. You see it has two parts. Reach in here. Here. Can you read what it says? You can't hear what she's saying.
Copy of 1856 from Brick Schoolhouse at Big Springfield, MA, by Springfield, Mass. by G.W.
Levine, and that was he was a Minuteman, and so he found this desk, and he contributed to us. All right. So good for you. Since you went, couldn't get help everyone. But you know what you have to do? Mr. Costello told me this years ago. That actually you can tell them. You know what I'm going to say about standing up and.
Yes. When I went to change schools and went from a small school in North Adams, Massachusetts, which had desks very much like this, where the seat was there, no chairs, the desk was here. The instructions that we had, let's see, Kirsten, if you wanted to be called on by the teacher, what did you do first? The teacher would call on you, Kirsten, you cannot speak. What do you have to do first? Who remembers?
She said if the kids that aren't paying attention,
No. You had to stand up. You did not speak to an adult in the classroom except on your feet. You slide out of your desk. Stand. First words out of your mouth were the name of the teacher, or in my case it would be sir, or her name would be ma'am, or her name is Nancy. Okay? Then you ask a question and so forth. All of the exchange takes place standing. When done, you sit down. That's fine. I thought that's the way all schools work. Then I moved to Michigan, a real up-to-date town, with chairs moved like we have in our classroom. My first day in school in 7th grade, I was in a classroom with a teacher, an old teacher. She retired that year. What did I do when she called? I had an answer. Pretend you have an answer, CJ. What do? You stand up. I stood up beside my desk. I didn't know her name. I said, ma'am. And I proceeded to give my answer. I sat down. She was stunned. She hadn't seen that sort of behavior since she was little. Your young teacher. And she spent the next half hour talking to the class about manners that had gone by the wayside. How proper behavior. This young man has talk about feeling terrible. I wanted to die because here my first day in school, and I was picked out by the teacher as someone who was just terrific and the rest of you weren't. It's a good experience.
Yes, I'm sure the rest of the class treated you very well after that.
Yep.
She has a pointer because she's going to help you with 2 or 3 different things, right? First, she's going to tell me about the West Village School, and I'm going to read it. Actually, you all can read as she points it because you probably have pretty good readers. I asked a question. I said, I introduced myself. I'm Miss Nancy. Why am I Miss? Why am I not Mrs.? Yes, because I'm not married. But could I teach and be married? No. You had to be single. You had to be, because I would come up on train from Salem, and most of the teachers did that, and I would pick some unfortunate person, I think probably this one who seems to be the most active, and I could kind of teach you at home too, and then you would have to get up early in the morning with me, and you would have to light this pot-bellied stove with me, and you'd have to bring in the wood. I think he would be the unfortunate person. You have to put up with Miss Nancy. In a way, it would be like detention. Yes, you're right. Yes. So only a week-long detention. The school year used to be shorter than it was 34 weeks instead of it's 40 now, I think. But it would be shorter. But I would stay with you, and then I would have to go back on the train to Salem State College. All right, Salem, where I had finished studying to be a teacher, and that was the only train that went from Salem to North Reading to Lowell. We have a train in North Reading now?
Yeah. No.
Where do you think it went?
We have a train.
There's a street that some of you might even know what it is. It's off Maple Street, and it's called, and I found out that somebody in the other class lived there, Railroad Avenue. Anybody know where Railroad Avenue is? Look closely now. It has a whole bunch of, it's by the river, and it has a new condo, new apartment set up. And if that's Railroad Avenue, you could follow it all the way back behind Whitney's home, behind the Robards' home, if any of you know where they are, into Ipswich River Park. Then it keeps going and going. It goes into Wilmington. I've actually walked the trail in Wilmington. It goes behind the Wilmington House Center. That's also an old railroad bed. And the railroad station used to be on that corner where the new apartments are now, right by the railroad avenue. And that's what I would do. And I would stay with you from Monday through Friday, and then I would go back to Salem. So we have my weekends. So you would be without me for a weekend. All right. So this is the West Village School. And when she points, if you want to read with me, you can. The original school was 1786 to 1840. Well, you can't read until she points.
1840.
Up, she didn't point to that. Location, the area near Park and Eames. That's the west side of town, so no bachelor children would have gone there. That district was not known, and this was behind, well, it would be on the way to 93 now. Listen, go ahead. The school burned in 1840. Why do you think so many schools and buildings burned?
Because people didn't have electricity then? Because people didn't have any electricity then?
We didn't have electricity, so how did they heat things?
With the fire?
With the pot-bellied stove that he would have to help me fix every morning, right? Fire, yes. And so that's why a lot had to be rebuilt. And this time, go ahead, this school built between 1840 and 1844. Answer me, class. How many years did it take to build? Oh, everybody at once. 6. Right, over here. The location, the northwest corner of this is where now, where Eastgate Nicholas is, and the CVS store, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So this is where this was. It served as a school for about 60 years. Then what happened was, it became a gas station, and for people actually lived in the school above the gas station. And they were going to take the whole thing down and destroy it so they could build a new area there, the liquor store and CVS and all that whole market area. So what they did, the Minutemen took all of it down, all of these beams, the floors, you can see all the wooden floors, the bell that I rang in with. You took all of these things and they reassembled it on this site. All right? And how many? It was 1980, 1994. How many years? Don't get up. Everybody who knows the answer, say. 14. So, you must study arithmetic. Do you? No. No? No? All right, we'll talk about that in a moment.
Yes.
All right, so 1980, 1994, the building was dismantled, and the Minutemen moved and reassembled this school on this site. Thank you, nice job. All right, you have a desk too that has something on it. What does it say? Yes.
This desk is from a one-room school near Berlin.
That's it.
Nebraska, donated by Russ Perry. His father was assigned this team as a child.
Right, so all of these desks came from all over the country, and this one, remember where that one was from? Look at you. Springfield, that's right. And this one was from?
Russ Perry.
Well, that's who donated it. What state was it from? Nebraska, so they were from all over the place. All right, would you come up here, please? What's your name? What is it?
Ollie.
Ollie? Ollie or Allie?
Ollie.
Right. And Mr. Mischief, behave yourself and come up here. We're going to do morning exercises, and I don't mean this kind. All right? Careful with the stroke.
Whoa.
Hold this up. Go. All right. Class, please stand. We have 2 people who are going to lead us in what to do. Yes, come over here because you're going to help me with something else. All right. Ready? Just hold this tight. Remember how she held the pointer so well? All right. Are you ready to lead us? Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, fellas. And you stay right there. So another part winning. I love it. Good for you. And do you remember after which war?
World War II.
Close, but no cigar.
Forget.
That's all right. That's all right. Move. You already had your chance. Sit down.
You stay there until you're called.
Winning is after the War of 1812. All right? And Francis Scott Key wrote these words to the Star Spangled Banner, which I'm sure you all know. But it took people know the words, but it took all this time in 1931 for the Star Spangled Banner to become a national anthem. So in the meanwhile, we sang all of these tunes, all right, with different words until it became a custom from somebody who actually lived in North Reading, not North Reading, in Andover, I'm sorry, just right over the North Reading line. And he wrote these words to an English tune, and it became a national kind of our national anthem until it was officially adopted for the Star Spangled Banner in 1931. Anybody ever sung this, America? Have you sung it? Do you know it?
Yes.
Good, because we're going to try it. I'm going to say the words. She's going to point. All right. I'm going to say them, you say them after me. This is strange because my country, 'tis of thee. And people kind of say tears. And what it is really is, it is. My country is of thee. But we say 'tis because it didn't fit into the music. All right? So I'm going to say it, then you do. My country, 'tis of thee.
My country, 'tis of thee.
Sweet land of liberty.
Sweet land of liberty.
Of thee I sing.
Of thee I sing.
Land where my fathers died.
Land where my fathers died.
Land of the pilgrim's pride.
Land of the pilgrim's pride.
From every mountainside.
From every mountainside.
Let freedom reign.
Let freedom reign.
All right, see if you can sing it while I play, and you're going to point to the words. All right? You ready? Set? Well, you faked it very well, so I thank you. Thank you. So, as you look around the room, you can see all kinds of differences. What is that book? Do you know? That's a penmanship book. We used to have to practice. Open it up. Just pick any page. Stand up, please, and show it to the class. Like that. That's right. See all those weird squiggles? You used to have to practice those in order to do cursive writing. Cursive. Do you study cursive?
Yeah.
Good for you. You have to practice like that first. But I don't think you have to do that yet. I don't think so. You like that? All right, what else do you study in school? We talked about math. In this time, in this schoolhouse, we taught arithmetic. We taught, what else do you think? Some people have these books. Geography. You teach geography now?
Yes. We do.
I'm going to have Mr. Cassell into these. All right. Arithmetic. Reading. Writing. History. Geography? I don't think that you taught freehand drawing.
No.
That's, what else in addition to that, Mr. Cassell, do you have today?
Today, art, music, physical education, some science.
Science is one of the big things that you have today that they weren't studying at that time. Is that your favorite subject? So what subject do we have as a favorite? All right. So we have those things. All right. Have a question? If you have a question, please, what do you have to do?
Why does this chair have a desk?
That's the way it was built. It's like one part. And we lead into another one. Can you see how this is? We only have two. All right. Let me know when you're ready. Show me. Show me. Yes. Oh, is this what you do? That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. All right. So, we have many things that are different, and some things are the same. For example, we have a teacher, but the teacher had to have help, and that's why the older children would help sometimes the younger children would help the teacher, because the teacher could only, it's only one person, just do so much, all right? So the older children, they would be ages would be age 5 through, are you supposed to be doing that?
Yeah, I'm with the photographer.
Oh, that's wonderful, I'm sorry, go right ahead. If you have permission, do it. All right, age 5 through 15. So, age 5 through 15. And you spend 30 weeks in school. It's 40 weeks now, isn't it? 40 weeks. And it used to be a lot less because you have many more chores at home you would have to do. You would have to help the parents on the farm. So you wouldn't have as much school. But the school days were long. And you also sometimes went home for lunch and did chores, and sometimes you brought your lunch to school. And you heard the bell ringing, right, when you came? So that means you were within walking distance, so you could go home to lunch, maybe do a chore, and come back to school. Yes, I have a whole bunch of questions. You have to stand up and ask.
My dad told me that they used to have school only winter and summer, no fall.
Where did he live?
In Peabody.
In Peabody, so right around here. Maybe they were farmers. Yes. Oh.
Do a lot of the desks, like if it doesn't have like a thing you can put in, does it normally open?
Yes. Some do, some don't. Remember, they're all different. They're all donated from all over the country. The important thing here, you have a cafeteria.
Yes.
So you already explained about the lunchroom situation. What about another important situation? We have recess. It used to be boys' recess and girls' recess.
Yeah.
And the boys' recess, that would be their time to go to the bathroom. And the same way with the girls' recess. Why is that, do you suppose? All right. This used to be called Putnam School because a man who was well known in the area liked to make hasty pudding, which just doesn't sound very good to me. It was made out of flour and water and oatmeal. And so this is called Putnam School. And who's the person? Would you come over here, please? What is your name? What is it? Nate. Come over here. I'm going to take the roof off so you can see. Whoops. Clean that up. See? You're going to go walk up and down the aisle and show people this. All right? And this is the same thing. It's called a privet. There is a one small one on the right. And this is what you used to have to go outside to go to school. You've probably seen these in the porta potties. This is the original porta potties. Alright? So this was your bathroom. It was called privies. Why? Do you have any idea? Contains the word privacy. But it wasn't very private. Alright, so everybody's looking for those. Yes, major differences. Yes. No, whereabouts.
Folks, 1700s. Now the 1800s, they may have had some paper. 1700s, in fact, even in the 1800s, paper was scarce. That's why they used these. Didn't have to buy more paper, right? Just erase. So, using paper in outhouses wasn't something that poor rural schools had. North Reading might have had. What do you think you might have used if you didn't have paper? If you grew lots of corn. When we finish shelling, our corn, we will have many, many dry husks. In fact, they would have had thousands of dried husks. What do you think you saw in the outhouse? Dried husks. That's what you use.
And that's why it had separate pieces, because you couldn't have the wheels and the boys going together. Got it? Got it? Alright, so that's the differences. Thank you. Bring those back. I'm going to ask you to sit up. Ready? You gotta listen to directions now. Excellent. Come up here, Levi. What's your name? Tia? Alright, we're going to try to form up to come in front of the room, and then we're going to try to make a circle. And lots of you aren't used to circle games. So you come in the spring, we will do more of it. Alright? Here are these, and you're going to follow Tia, try to get in line. Hurry up! Hurry up! 1, 2, 3, stop! Oops, not the circle, quick, quick, quick. There you go. You used to have to do chores. And I have to know what time you have to leave.
About 15 minutes.
Oh, okay, we do have time.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
I didn't know we had time. So what we're going to do, you can see some chores listed up there. And we're going to pretend it's Monday, and on Monday, what do we do? How do you think you're going to wash your clothes? If somebody knows, raise your hand. No? Did you raise your hand before you thought? That happens to me sometimes.
Can you get a bucket of water and then rinse your clothes?
He's on to something. Listen up. He's on to something. How would you wash them? Would you push a button? No.
Rain.
Pardon?
Rain.
Could use rainwater, right? Could. Then you'd have to heat it up, maybe. Okay. But how would you actually wash your clothes? Oh, I know you know, but I'm trying to figure out if he does. That's all right. If somebody thinks they know and you're dying to tell me,
The well. Like that.
you would get water from the well. But how would you actually get the clothes clean? I know you're dying to answer, but you answer the question already.
You'd grab like a tub of water, and then there'd be this thing where you'd roll it up and down on it.
He's got it. He's got it. I don't know. Did you go in the shed in
No.
Because okay. What? A wash. A wash. I use my New York accent here. Wash. All right. Make your circle. You get in the middle because you're going to show us that action. Show me. Yeah, it's kind of like really. And I'm going to ask you to sing a song. And after you get the one verse down, I know you'll be able to sing the rest. I'm going to ask you to do the motion. I'm going to ask you to sing. I'm going to ask you to put your left shoulder into the circle. Left shoulder, figure it out. All right? And you're going to have to sing the song. And the song is, this is the way we wash our clothes, wash our clothes, wash our clothes. This is the way we wash our clothes on a Monday morning. You got it? Do the three things at once. Let's go. 1, 2, ready?
This is the way we wash our clothes, wash our clothes, wash our clothes. This is the way we wash our clothes, wash our clothes.
Good for you. Thank you. All right. What do we do on Tuesday? Trying to think, is it Tia? I'm trying to think of somebody who has an answer to the question. Put your hands down if you answer.
I did.
Wait. Oh no, I just
Iron on clothes.
We're going to iron the clothes. Do you know how we iron them?
Oh wait, we didn't have irons.
She's onto it. You hear what she said?
No. No.
Not plug-in irons.
We didn't have an iron. But I'm guessing we had an iron table. Yeah, not an so we could.
Some kind of iron table, right?
And then press iron.
You have an iron was really made out of iron. How would you heat it? Guess how you would heat it?
Maybe the sun?
What do we have in this room?
Oh!
Sure. Could heat it on the pot. I know you know. On the pot belly stove. Alright. Or even in the pot, little plate in the fireplace. I don't know if Mrs. Rowan had a chance to show you that. Did she show you that?
No.
And in a fireplace, there's a little stand that you can stick the iron. The iron made out of iron, you can stick that on it. Alright? So you get in the middle, show us. Have you ever on it?
I've seen my mama.
You've seen your mom? That's good enough. Let's see if you can do it. Well, it's kind of like back and forth, and it's heavy. Remember, it's made out of iron. It's heavy. It's heavy. All right, move out your circle. Turn your right shoulder in. You ready? What day is it? What day is it? All right.
This is the way we iron our clothes, iron our clothes, iron our clothes. This is the way we iron our clothes on a Tuesday morning.
Good for you. All right. Does anybody ever actually know this?
Oh my God. I have.
Honest? No kidding.
Yeah, I have.
All right, so go ahead. Let's trust you. Or I think slowly, right?
Yeah, it's like.
Kind of pull,
Yeah, you can
pull, and squeeze, and pull,
This is
and squeeze, and pull. You ready? Stand up. You circle out. Bring your left shoulder in. Same. What day is it?
Friday. Oh, no.
Okay. Come on, milk that cow. Good for you. Now, it used to be, especially with the school, that you would know about this because you would make the bread from the wheat you had grown. And I understand the crop failed you this year with the drought. Is that true?
Sorry?
The crop failed you this year.
We harvested straw this year, Miss Nancy, so we're going to be a little hungry, but we're still going to make bread.
You're still going to make bread. All right, there's a special word.
I know.
Tia, I know you know.
Please.
All right, but I'm going to ask somebody else to do the action. Is that all right?
Okay.
All right, watch.
Weed.
You're going to knead the bread. Knead the bread, okay? All right, we'll squeeze it, we'll soft. You're going to learn that soon, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Turn my children.
Right shoulder.
You ready? What day is it? What are we going to do? No, we're going to be home and make the bread and do all of those chores at home. You have lots of things to do at home. All right? Like you have to mend your one outfit to go to school in. And you have a son you go to meet. One outfit. One. You ready? All right, you're looking at something and I'll briefly tell you what that is. All right, are you looking at
Oh, I was.
we actually had a bomber. Yes.
Yes, I was.
All right, you can read that. You're the reader.
It says on July 18, 1942, during World War XI,
That's Roman numeral, that's why.
these 10 crew members lost their lives in a B-17 bomber crash in North Reading.
Okay, turn in. Yes, so we actually did have a bomber crash. It was kind of behind Eisenhower Farms. You know where Eisenhower Farms is? It was in Havel Street. We have a, right, children? You got it. All right, who gave you gave me the answer.
I gave you.
But there was somebody else who hasn't even said this. Get me some. Show us how to knead the bread. Yeah, you gotta be really strong. Knead. Put some power in it. You ready? This is the way we knead the bread. Knead the bread. Knead the bread. This is the way we knead the bread on a Saturday morning. Thank you. Now we're going to put on our Sunday go to meeting clothes, and we're going to go to church. On the way out, I want you to look to the right. First of all, we have a wonderful new Declaration of Independence up there on the wall. We have, you can see it's in the hallway. Beside the belt where you pull the string for the belt. And on the right-hand side, you will see all of the Minutemen. Some of you know what a bunch of them, Mrs. Rome Rose, husband and children, and Mr. Parker, who helped us with the fire this morning. And all of these people were involved in the bicentennial celebration. And they started the Minutemen and militia who rebuilt this house, built the farmhouse you're going to see in the spring, and the meeting house. Yes.
What is that?
That is a battle. Can you see? That's a revolution. Okay. It's a model. All right. I'm going to pick. All right. Now you're going to have to turn your right shoulder in. And he's the line. He's the line. I'll go get out of line. There you go. He's the line leader. There you go. You're at the end of the line. It's not in my book, just here. All right, Aaron, your best son, you're going to go over your toes. We're going to go to church.